Good afternoon. Hope everyone is doing well. I apologize for the late post today with this video. I've been pretty busy this morning going through and doing a few things and just running a little behind. So I apologize about that based on when you turn in a lot of your assignments. I know several of you don't get started till late, but I always like to have everything done before noon. When making videos and posting things, but time kind of got away from me today and I'm a little bit later. But today what we're going to look at is review problem 7. Now, you can go back and look at the video that myself and Coach Elliott did. I may have even did a review, did a few different example problems on this. This is verifying trig identities, okay? Now, it's a very difficult lesson to teach online like this. It's it's probably works better in class, one-on-one, and this is one of the lessons where I like to do it on the board. I like to have students come up and do these problems on the board. So it's it is very, very large lesson. I started out, this was the next lesson we were going to. So in theory, what we've done through problem 6, we've already done. And then there's actually a couple problems on the review, 8, 9, and 10. I think we've handled or at least discussed one of them. So, there's only about 3 problems that we haven't touched base on. But this is one of them. Like I said, you can go back and do the I think it was COVID video 1, or there may be review problem 1. I touch base on this in those videos as well, but I'll go into extreme detail for this. Here's how it's going to be. On your test, number 7, it's going to say true or false. Okay? Now, that's 50-50. Okay? I mean, obviously you get that, but it's, what you're trying to do is show that these sides are either the same, equivalent, or they're not. All right. And to do that, you use the identities, Pythagorean identities, quotient identities, reciprocal identities. You use all those. Now, I'm going to, when I post this video, I'm also going to have an attachment of this, okay? And then of the trig identities. And then I probably will post a form where it'll just be 1 or 2 of these, 2 or 3 of these maybe, where it's just true, false. We're just going to do them straight true, false. That's the only way I know how to do it. That's how it's like the test. And you just try to verify them. All right. That's the best way I know how to handle this. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started and look at this problem. If you're looking at this problem on the left-hand side, you have tangent x, cotangent x over cosecant x is equal to cosine x. Take the side that is most difficult and try to simplify it. Now, you may say, Coach Wright, how do I simplify that? Okay? If I don't know what I'm doing, if I'm struggling with these problems, now this one, there's kind of a way we could see this, but it's okay. It's no big deal. If I'm looking at this problem and I say, I don't know what to do, I take every single possible thing that's in the problem and I change it to sine and cosine. That's it. That's just what I do, okay? Now this one, there would be a slightly different step I would do, but it's okay, okay? I'll talk to you about what that step would be, but I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, well, hey, I'm going to change everything to sine and cosine. I'm not going to mess with this side because this side's already in terms of sine and cosine, okay? So we take tangent. We say, well, what's tangent equal to? Tangent is the same as sine over cosine. Times, take cotangent. Cotangent is the same thing as cosine over sine. Okay? Now, over, what is cosecant? Well, cosecant is the same thing as 1 over sine x. Okay? Now, look at this. Look what happens. And like I said, I would probably have done this problem a little bit differently, but just to try to keep it simplified, this is the best way. Up top, this sine cancel because you're multiplying. This cosine cancel, so it gives me 1 up top over 1 over sine x. All right? Now, that's the same thing as 1 divided by 1 over sine x. This is just a fraction problem. Just a fraction problem. Dividing two fractions, so to speak, or dividing by a fraction. Keep this as 1. Change this to multiplication. Flip this. 1 over sine, so it's over sine. So it's sine over 1. 1 times sine is sine x. So, when I worked this problem out, I apologize if you can't see that, okay? When I work this problem out, excuse me, I get on the left-hand side sine x. There's no other way to simplify it. There's no other way to do it. So on the left-hand side, I got sine. On the right-hand side, I got cosine. Those are not equivalent. So the answer to this problem is false, 100%. This is a false problem. Okay? Now, you say, well, Coach Wright, what was the shortcut or what was the thing that you could have done or that you saw early to know immediately, hey, this is false, okay? Let me show you real quick, and I'm not going to stop the recording here, I'll just show you. Now, look at this, okay? So I apologize. Look at this real quick. If I notice that up top I have tangent times cotangent, those are inverses, right? So that's like saying 5 times 1 over 5, 10 times 1 over 10. They're inverse operations, inverse functions. So when I multiply inverses, I automatically, every single time, I get 1. And so it's 1 over cosecant. What is 1 over cosecant equivalent to? 1 over cosecant, 1 over cosecant, 1 over cosecant. Same thing as sine. Remember? That's sine. Sine is equal to 1 over cosecant. Cosecant is equal to 1 over sine. We call them inverse functions, right? So please, again, 1 over cosecant. This is simply sine. Sine x is not equal to cosine x. False. Okay? Again, not a very simple lesson. Looking at the test, it's true, false. Okay? So it's going to be one where they're going to say, hey, number 7 on this test, review problem 7. We've gone over this. You're going to get to it, and it's going to say true, false. Okay? And you got to be able to work through that. You got to be able to look at the identities and make them try to make sense, see which ones you can use, whether it's changing it to sine or cosine, whatever the case may be. This is kind of that concept, and this is kind of that problem that we have to make sure that we can handle, okay? It's not the easiest thing in the world by any means, but it is what it is, okay? So it may be one that causes a little bit of problems, but again, it's going to be a true-false question. All right, so having said all that, this is the one example I'm doing today. If you've got more questions, guys, I apologize about review problem 6. I know what I did now. I haven't seen one grade. I haven't seen anybody's assignment. I messed up when I created the form, but everybody got credit for that. That was the easy lesson. Remember, it's looking at a chart. And I think somebody said, hey, I got the X and Y's mixed up. Okay. It was fine on this. Like I said, as long as you're making efforts, guys, I'm good with this, okay? But please just understand on test, we can't get the X and Y's mixed up on that. So I'm kind of leaving it up to you. I'm not giving you really any feedback on example 6. because I haven't seen the work, okay? But I know it's just looking at the chart, okay? Sine, y value, cosine, x value, tangent, y over x, okay? And that's it. All right, so for today, like I said, I'm gonna have you a couple of these problems, and hope everybody has a great day, and we'll talk to you later.